Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tribute. My name is Mandy Michelone, and I have the honor of being the president of Wise Women of Blair County. We are here tonight to celebrate 6 incredible women: Jane Gable, Becky Stevens, Amy Van Clunen, Lori Crownover, Amy Martin Shanafelt, and Ann Benzel. All of these women are here tonight because of their outstanding contributions to our community. Their stories are inspiring. And this is their night, so let's get it started. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our MC for the evening, former Blair County Commissioner, and our Tribute Committee Chair, Donna Gordy.
Good evening. Thank you so much for being here. This is going to be a wonderful, inspiring evening, I am sure, because it always is. We are very pleased to have you here as Wise Women of Blair County, and I'll be talking a little bit more about the history of the organization, how we function, and many things that I think it would be good for you to know and to understand about us. But first, I want to be able to introduce to you our honorees for this evening. Mandy just mentioned their names, but we are going to formally bring them in to be welcomed. Trying to find the light. So much stuff is on this desk. All right, there we go. First, for Arts and Letters category is Jane Gable. Next, our Business and Professional honoree is Becky Stevens. The Community Service Volunteer is Amy Van Clunen. For Education, please welcome Lori Crownover. In Nonprofit Government, categories near and dear to my heart, is Amy Martin Shanafelt. And our Lifetime honoree, our Lifetime Achievement honoree this evening is Ann Benzel. So some of you may know that Wise Women of Blair County was formed out of the YWCA of Altoona. We had been struggling financially and were having great difficulty, and we finally decided to sell the building that we had on Union Avenue. We were very pleased that someone bought it and gave us the ability to create a fund within Central Pennsylvania Community Foundation as the Wise Women Tribute Fund, Wise Women Fund, sorry. The idea of Wise Women came to me. I was the board president of the Y at the time, YW at the time, and in the middle of the night when I was laying awake, what are we going to do with this organization? It occurred to me, let's disband as a YWCA, get rid of all the responsibilities that we have to have that cost us money that we don't have as that, and create our own independent Blair County-based organization that we would operate virtually with the board being active and involved in the running of the organization, and that is what we did. Of that, we created the organization, and it has been successfully carried about. We have committees, the Grants Committee, which is chaired by Deb Garatano. The Grants Committee, once a year, does a solicitation from nonprofit organizations for projects in the furtherance of our mission. The grants come through Central Pennsylvania Community Foundation. The application each year is toward the end of October, and the grant period is the entire following calendar year. If there are people representing organizations that have or that are involved, staff members, board members, or volunteers from any of the organizations that have received grants through Wise Women, would you please stand? We'd like to recognize you. I know Michelle McIntyre's in the back. I represent Arts Altoona. Anybody else? Hi, okay. Thank you very much. We also have a scholarship committee, which is chaired by Mandy, who also serves as our president. And scholarships are available to women from Blair County who are age 21 and over, and who are overcoming or have overcome adversity in their lives. And we're not just talking financial. It could be that they were a teen mom. It could be that they're overcoming a disease of some sort. It could be that they were from such poverty that they weren't able to go to school. It's for post-secondary education. Doesn't have to be a college. It could be a certificate program, a trade school, any sort of thing, post-secondary, but not a master's or PhD level. We grant in 2 cycles. We have applications in the spring for the fall semester, applications in the fall for the spring semester. We generally give out at least $20,000 each year in totality. And when I retired from being commissioner, they created a special grant, a scholarship in my name that funds people going to programs related to things I've been affiliated with or are overcoming adversity from the various things I've been involved with. A lot of this information is in your program. The applicants need to submit 2 essays, one about their career goals and their plans to reach them, and the second is describing the adversity that they have had in life and the impact on them. They also are required to have 2 references submitted directly to us, and the checks go directly to the institution. We just extended our application period for the fall semester to this Friday. So if you know anybody in that category and they can get all that together in the next couple days, we'd be glad to have them as applicants. So those are 2 of our very important committees. We also have a media marketing committee chaired by Angie Yazilitis, who's also our vice president. And we try to make sure that our Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn are all current and up to date. And we encourage any of you to please follow us, like us, and get involved with us. And our newest committee, you saw represented here at the membership table, is our membership committee. I'll be very honest, in the past, when people applied to be members because they saw our mission, believed in our mission, we did very little to welcome them. They got invited to tribute. They got invited to an annual meeting each year. They might get an occasional newsletter that a lot of other people got as well. We decided if we are indeed a membership organization, we need to do a lot more to be welcoming our members, getting to know our members, and interacting with the members. So our newest committee is the membership committee chaired by Barbara Thaler, and they've been meeting very active. They now have subcommittees of that committee, and you were welcomed here tonight. If you are a member, you've got a drink ticket, so there's a little perk. If you became a new member, you got one, and it's not too late to sign up. Come and see Barb if you want to get a membership and get a drink ticket for later. So we are a very active group, and I will have more to say later. But for now, we want you to enjoy your dinner. And before that, I'm going to welcome, where is she? For our invocation, Judge Jackie Bernard. There she is. Of course, she's in the back of the room.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure and privilege to be with you all this evening to celebrate these wise women and their contributions. Thanks to each of you for the work that you've done, and thanks for the sacrifices made by your families to make the corner of our world a little brighter. Thank you to the Wise Women organization, who each year brings us together to pause in tribute to people like the women being recognized this evening. I'm honored to offer the invocation, and I would ask you to please bow your head with me. Lord, thank you for gathering us all here. We ask your ongoing and abundant blessing upon each person present. Thank you, Lord, for Jane Gamble, Becky Stevens, Amy Van Clunen, Lori Kronauer, Amy Martin Schoenefeld, and Ann Benzel. We know that you, Lord, have enabled them to bless us. As George Washington Carver observed, quote, "How far you go in life depends on you being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant of the weak and the strong. Because someday in life, you will have been all of those things." End quote. Help us to continue to work together in unity and understanding, guided by your wisdom, with a common purpose to lift up our fellow citizens. For tonight's meal, I offer the following, which is my family mealtime prayer. Be present at our table, Lord. Be here and everywhere adored. Thy creatures bless, and grant that we may feast in paradise with thee. Amen. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Enjoy your meal. All right, good evening again. If you could, please take your places. We're going to begin. So earlier I mentioned the other committees of Wise Women. I did not mention the Tribute Committee, of which I am the chair, and that is the one thing that carried over from the YWCA of Altoona days. The YWCA had been doing a tribute since 1992, and we just picked it up and kept it rolling. And the list of past honorees is in your program, and it's also always on the website, so you know. And I should have acknowledged that Jackie Bernard was a honoree in Business and Professions in 2007. We added the Lifetime Award in 2006, so you see that that list is a little bit shorter. And I do want to mention this evening that we were very sad that we did not receive any nominations for Rising Star. So it's on all of you to nominate some young women, 25 and as they have to be younger than 25 as of the date of the dinner next year, and remarkable young women. They can be high school age, college age, young women who have started up a program or carried on something, done a special project in the community. You'll see the criteria in your program book. So obviously we want nominations for all of the categories, but as I said, we were especially sad that we didn't have a Rising Star to recognize this year. It takes a lot of people to put an event like this together, and in Wise Women, the most important group, of course, is that working group that I mentioned, which is the Board of Directors. So would the Board of Wise Women please stand to be recognized? And the Tribute Committee is the same group of people, with the one exception of our treasurer, Tracy Noggle. Tracy puts her time in for tribute. She doesn't come to our committee meetings, but she handles all the finances for all of your reservations that are being made and all the memberships and everything else. So Tracy does a remarkable job, but we let her not be on Tribute Committee. So we do appreciate all of that. And this year, we have a remarkable young woman as our new tribute coordinator and administrative assistant, Brianna Shriver. Would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you. I mentioned that we grew from the YWCA, and the mission of YW was essentially the elimination of racism and the empowerment of women. So our mission greatly reflects that, and we did just tweak our mission statement a bit in this past year. We had a retreat in August, and we reviewed the mission statement and decided to update it a little bit. So you see it is in your program. We are dedicated to empowering women and encouraging acceptance and inclusion of all through collaboration, service, and education. And we do have an annual meeting that was adopted at our annual meeting after recommendations from the retreat. So at this point, would all of the past honorees please stand? I know that there's a number of them in the room. It always does my heart good when the women who have been recognized at this dinner come back and share and bring their friends and family and enjoy the evening with us and make nominations of other honorees. So at this point, we are going to begin with our first honoree. And since we have had sponsors the past couple years, the sponsors have the opportunity to introduce the honoree. Their names were up here, their logos are in the program book, and we are very, very grateful to them for their support of Wise Women and of this dinner. In this case, for our first honoree, Jane Gable in Arts and Letters, she was sponsored by her family, and very specially, it's her granddaughter, Nora, who is going to introduce her. So, Nora.
I am thrilled to have the opportunity to recognize my grandma, Jane Gable, for the Arts and Letters tribute tonight. My grandma has spent the majority of her life building other things, organizations like St. Luke's, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Southern Alleghenies Museum of Art, and is also deeply committed to deepening the relationships between her lifelong friends. When she's interested in something, she commits to it, anything that she finds meaning in. My mom remembers sitting with her sister for hours at the hotel while she helped run the call bank for the Blair Concert Chorale. And her dining room table was notoriously littered with recipes as she and her friends worked on creating palate pleasers. I don't think there was a role in St. Luke's Church that she didn't fill, from senior warden right down to the gardener the weekend before my parents' wedding. She loves being with and helping others, particularly her wonderful lifelong friends, many of which are here today. Not to mention that she is an extraordinary event planner. Whether on a grand scale like SAMA's annual galas or on a small scale, any event hosted by my grandma was going to be special. One night we hosted a last-minute dinner, and the next thing I knew, she went out to the yard with a bottle of spray paint and somehow assembled a centerpiece of sticks, pine cones, and who knows what else that rivaled a magazine cover shot. And then she whipped together a meal that I still don't believe actually came out of the ingredients in our pantry. For various fundraisers or any other out-of-town guests, she is known to clear out the living room and somehow single-handedly pull off serving a gourmet meal and a fun party with ease. Her events were always seamless and fun, and she made guests feel special and welcome, all while raising money for a cause she cared about. She is truly a Jane of all trades. Of course, we are still hoping that she'll make a surprise run on Jeopardy! But until then, I'm happy that she'll have a bit of the spotlight tonight to make her feel as special and welcome as she has always made others feel. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Nora, for those kind words. And receiving this recognition from wise women in arts and letters is quite an honor. And honestly, I need to confess it's a bit overwhelming. Thank you to the Wise Women Board for this award and for this incredible evening. It's just been wonderful and so much fun. Sharing this evening with my family and friends makes it especially meaningful. You've already met Nora, and I'd like you to meet my daughter, Elizabeth, and many of you have been enjoying the company of my younger daughter, Sarah, who has been in Altoona for the past several weeks, while a new elevator is being installed in her building in New York City. So Sarah has been patiently, I think, assisting me with the social media for the Blair Concert Chorale. She's been helping with some social media for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. So we're putting her, she's going to get a little piece of the award too. Yes, she is earning her keep. I'd also like to introduce my grandchildren. Well, you met Nora. And then we have Theo. Theo is 12 years old. And then last but not least is my favorite son-in-law and my only son-in-law, Matt Gavasian. The entire family has come in from New York, traveled here to be with Gamo this evening. So I do want to thank you all. A huge thank you and grateful kudos to those friends who have nominated me and those who wrote letters of support for this wonderful award. Especially past honoree Janie Height, Gail Irwin, and Dee Dee Kazmaier, who signed the papers. These gals have been my cohorts in crime for many years. And whenever the phone rings and there's this cheery voice at the other end of the phone that says, "Jane G, it's the other one," I know that there's either a project in the works or there's something that needs to be proofread. So it gives me great pride to be a part of any of these successful projects that I seem to be sharing with my friends. The titles Operations Manager of the Blair Concert Chorale or Membership Secretary of Blair County Civic Music Association, a quiet member of the Tuesday Evening Book Club, or the Southern Alleghenies Museum of Art Development and Special Events Coordinator, such fancy titles, or the bookkeeper, administrative assistant at Altoona Community Theater, all kind of describe the role that I play in the arts world. As anybody who knows me can attest, I don't and can't sing. My drawing and painting skills are totally non-existent. My writing skills are not necessarily creative, but almost always grammatically correct, Jane Height. I'm thrilled to work with talented individuals to manage or coordinate artistic endeavors. For me, handling the administrative details, thus enabling the singers, the accompanist, and the director of the Blair Concert Chorale to do what they do best. This gives me a great sense of accomplishment. Working with a group of committed individuals to plan a successful fundraiser event evokes joy and pride, and of course, seeing the finished product after stressing and debating over every word and punctuation mark gives me a great sense of accomplishment and relief. To be recognized with a Wise Woman Award in Arts and Letters is deeply humbling. I know so many strong, intelligent, and inspiring women in this community. Many of them are in the room tonight. I've been fortunate to learn from all of these people and to work beside many of you. This honor isn't just a reflection of my work. It's a celebration of collaboration, something I hold very dear. None of us achieve anything meaningful that's alone by ourselves. Whether it's a concert, an exhibition, or a community event, the success lies in the collective effort, the shared passion, and the willingness to step in and say, how can I help? Can I be part of this? The mission of Wise Women to empower, accept, include, and educate mirrors what I have always tried to do behind the scenes. Create spaces where art can flourish, people can shine, and community can grow stronger. Thank you so much for this recognition. I share it with all the volunteers, the artists, the co-workers, and the community members who've made this work so fulfilling. And thank you for reminding all of us that service, kindness, and showing up in whatever we can do matters. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Jane. Congratulations. And Jane and I have known each other since our daughters were in preschool together at the Penmont Academy. So it's wonderful to see her recognized here this evening. Our next category is Business and Professions, and our honoree is Becky Stevens. And to introduce her is a colleague, Amy Seltzer, who is a wealth manager and partner at Weber Seltzer Wealth Advisors. Amy?
Thank you, Donna. Good evening. Weber Seltzer Wealth Advisors is proud to sponsor the Wise Women Business and Professional Award tonight. This award goes to a woman who provides leadership in business and industry, profit-oriented services, or works in a field requiring specific advanced training or certification. I couldn't be prouder to present this well-deserved award, I can't believe I'm going to cry, to my friend and colleague, Becky Stevens. Before I talk about Becky's business and professional life, I would like to talk about her at home and in the community. Becky is the constant in her family. She's the glue that holds them together. She is hands-on with her children and her stepchildren, as well as her mother and brother. She has an expertise in helping families plan with special needs, as she has done this in her own life. Now, she is going to be really mad I say this. Becky has a goal in her life, and that is for all of the children to become successful and be able to live on their own. She still likes Marty, and she can't wait to have more alone time with him. Before I go on to the community, I have to throw in that Becky's a gourmet cook and baker. How she finds time for this, I have no idea. I'm telling you, this woman can do a dinner for 20 in the time it takes me to do it for 1. In the community, Becky has done so much. I could be here for an hour if I named every organization she has touched. She gives of her time, energy, and talent. She doesn't sit on the sidelines, but instead jumps right in wherever she is needed. Becky's a longtime committee member from day one, and past chair of We Lead, Women Encouraging Leadership, Education, and Development, where she has been active in helping provide both networking and mentoring events. She believes education is critical for women, and she has been involved in many educational events for those women. She's been a longtime finance committee member and past president of St. Mary's Church. She still remains very active. Becky was the co-founder of Blue Chip Babes, a stock club, and she is a longtime board member of the ARC of Blair County, where she has made a tremendous difference there in so many ways. Now to the business and professional. Becky joined the family business, the Stevens Company, where she was the third generation ownership and management. She worked there for 28 years with her father, 12 of which she was president. She assisted her father in executing a successful sale of the business. What was most important to Becky, though, was not the sale of the business, but helping to secure positions for the current employees as they had been part of the Stevens Company family. Becky has impacted the lives of so many women of all ages. She is a certified divorce financial analyst and a chartered retirement planning counselor. After selling the business, Becky decided to become a financial advisor. She went to work for Morgan Stanley and eventually realized that working at a wirehouse was not where she could use all of her talents. We were so lucky and blessed when Becky came to work with us, which was then Seltzer Financial Strategies. We've merged since then. As an independent financial advisor, she can not only have the long-term relationships with her clients, but can provide comprehensive financial planning with no obligation to use certain companies or investments. She specializes in addressing the unique financial challenges of business owners, women experiencing life transitions, and planning for families with loved ones who have special needs. She can offer customized financial solutions. She has also, sorry, my last page is not good, developed an expertise in investing for tax efficiency and lifetime income so her clients can invest with clarity and live with confidence. I will end where I started. I couldn't be prouder to present this well-deserved award to my friend and colleague, Becky Stevens. Congratulations, Becky.
Thanks so much, Amy. I don't think I have to say anything. I think she covered it all, but I will. First, I'd like to sincerely thank the Wise Women Committee, as all of the sweet and kind individuals who nominated me for this incredible honor. And I'd also like to congratulate all of you fantastic women who are being honored tonight. I'm honored and humbled to be recognized for my efforts in the community and to be counted among such a distinguished group of women, not just this year's honorees, but also the past honorees. One definition of the word formidable is inspiring respect through being impressively capable. And that's how I see the other recipients, both past and present. And it's a goal to which I personally aspire. Now, the next part is the hardest part of my speech, so I hope I don't get emotional. I am incredibly fortunate to have so many wonderful people in my life. And I honestly don't think I'd be here tonight without those people. Now, we'd be here all night if I were to list off all the many ways in which these people have taught, inspired, supported, and loved me. But I won't do that, although I do want to tell you who they are, and I do want to say something directly to them. My parents, B. and Denny Stevens, my brother Todd, my husband Marty Malone, our children Emily, Will, Molly, Mitch, and Hunter, my amazing extended family, my sweet, sweet friends, and my wonderful colleagues. Too many people to mention, but to all of you, I want you to know that I count you as my greatest blessing. I so appreciate the work that Wise Women does to recognize the contributions of women to Blair County. There really are countless women who have taken risks, broken barriers, and worked hard to make this such a great place to live and work. By highlighting the stories of individuals' efforts and achievements like we're doing tonight,
Wise Women is giving us the kind of good news that we all need more of in our lives. So thank you for doing this. It also serves as a reminder of how far we've come and inspires us to go further. This recognition has really made me think a great deal about our past and our future as women. To illustrate that, I would like to share a very short story about my own family. I have loved genealogy for years, and many of the discoveries I've made have really touched me. All of my mother's grandparents came from Italy. Her maternal grandmother was a woman named Cosima Forsini. Cosima was educated, which at that time meant that she could read and write. And she stayed behind in Italy when her husband, Napoleon Santolina, great names, huh? Went ahead to America to work in the coal mines of Pennsylvania. Now, according to family lore, Napoleon was to send for her, but he didn't. So she came on her own, leaving southern Italy for New York City. 25-year-old Cosima traveled from Italy to Ellis Island with her 6-year-old son, and then all the way to Lille, PA, to sort of track down her wayward husband, who was not expecting her. So interestingly, in 1912, women were not allowed to leave Ellis Island unless a male family member came and vouched for them. And in our family, nobody knows how Cosima got out of Ellis Island with her son and how she found her way to Lily. But she did find him, and they stayed together, and they had 5 more children. Well, I'm sorry. And eventually she became a naturalized citizen. Now, my other great-grandmother was a woman named Maria Leonarda Antonaccio. And I know much less about her, but she was not married when she came to this country with her brother in 1901, and she was only 16 years old. She married my great-grandfather in 1907, had my grandfather in 1908, and she went on to have 5 additional children. She died at the age of 35 of the Spanish flu about a few weeks after the birth of her 6th child. And she, unfortunately, because of her untimely death, was never able to become a citizen. So why am I telling you about these women, my female immigrant ancestors? First of all, they were formidable as I described it before. They inspire my respect through being impressively capable and brave. They were so young, it blows my mind. They took immense risks to leave their families and everything they knew for a chance at something better. And I would not be here today, like I wouldn't even exist if they were not so brave. As we're still a very young nation, I imagine all of you have similar stories that led you to physically being here tonight. So I just encourage you, if you don't know your own family stories, find out. It's really, really moving. I think we all stand on the shoulders of the women and men that came before us so that we could have the kind of life we have today. I imagine Cosima and Maria Leonarda sitting with us here right now. Wouldn't they be amazed at all the things that have happened for us as women between then and now? Women running businesses. Oh yes, I'm Italian. Women running businesses, educational, charitable, and arts organizations, serving in political office, women getting as much education as they want, able to be in any field or profession their hearts and minds desire. Driving cars, voting, owning their own homes, having their own money, bank and investment accounts. I know they'd be deeply moved to see how the possibilities for women have exploded since their time. I also have great hope for the future as I imagine what women might be able to achieve in the next 100 or so years. To the younger women here tonight, I do want to share one insight. As you live your life, trying to do your best and make a difference, sometimes it won't feel like you are, but just keep going. Speaking for myself, I felt that way many times over the years. But the stories you're hearing tonight are an acknowledgement that the honorees' efforts did make a difference, and yours will too. I'll close with one of my favorite quotes, which is from Mother Teresa. She said, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love." I am here tonight because of a million of those small things done with great love by the people that came before me and the family and friends with whom I have been blessed. Again, thank you for this tremendous recognition.
Thank you, Becky. Our next category is Community Service Volunteer, and our honoree is Amy Van Clunen. And the sponsor was Stuckey Automotive, and they have asked Ann Sutton, who is a dear friend of Amy's, to do the introduction. So, Ann, welcome.
Good evening. On behalf of Stuckey Automotive, I'm proud and truly delighted to introduce this year's WISE Community Service honoree, Amy Van Clunen. Amy is not only a dedicated community servant, she's also my dear friend and many of ours who are here tonight, my neighbor, and the godmother of my son. When I think about the true meaning of service, I of course think of Amy. She was one of the first people to show up for me during one of the hardest chapters of my life. She sat with me in silence when words weren't enough, made me laugh when I thought I'd forgotten how, and showed unwavering love and presence to me and my entire family. That's who Amy is, someone who shows up not just when it's easy, but when it matters most. And that same heart she shared with me, she's poured into her entire community. Amy serves as president of the Blair Regional YMCA Swim Team Parent Organization, leading with energy, compassion, and just unmatched commitment. Whether she's coordinating team building events, including outdoor movie nights in her own backyard, which my son peers out our door and watches from our house, she's encouraging young swimmers or supporting the coaching staff, Amy helps create a positive, inclusive environment where kids and families thrive. Beyond the pool deck, her service continues. From leading the Foot of 10 PTO, she successfully brought back the beloved annual talent show after many years of trying, to helping stuff backpacks full of food for children in need, to championing women's heart health through her most recent role as a rock star Woman of Impact nominee for the American Heart Association. In fact, just earlier today at 1 o'clock, she was announced the 2025 Blair County Woman of Impact and Centennial Club member for earning 100,000 points with her phenomenal fundraising and educational efforts in our community. She finished 11th in the country. Amidst all that she gives, Amy remains grounded in what matters most, her family. She is a devoted wife to John, a proud mom to Patrick and Julia, and a loving daughter of Ed and Wendy. Everything she does is anchored in her love for them and in the values of kindness, faith, and empathy they all share. Her actions always speak volumes. Whether she's showing up for a friend in need or rallying support for a cause she believes in, Amy leads with a quiet strength and an open heart. She also believes deeply in women lifting one another up and being the one who claps the loudest, encourages without hesitation, and helps others discover their light. And tonight, my friend, the spotlight is deservedly on you. Please join me in celebrating this year's WISE Community Service honoree, a woman of extraordinary generosity, integrity, and heart, my dear friend, Amy.
Thank you, Anne. That was beautiful. Good evening, everyone, Wise Women Committee, friends, family, and fellow honorees. Becky stated it well. This is a formidable group, and I'd be lying if I didn't say I had a little bit of imposter syndrome being considered among this group tonight. I only attended this dinner once before, and it was probably about 12 years ago. And I had a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old at home. And I remember sitting here, and I was probably just really excited to have real clothes on and a night off from bedtime. But I was just in all of these amazing women and their amazing contributions. And I just was thinking, I really need to get my life together. So I'd like to share with you a few of the lessons I've learned over the past 12 years in various aspects of community service. At that time, I was fairly new to the role of being a mom and fairly new to this area, just kind of figuring out, Plank Road is Pleasant Valley Boulevard, learning all the lessons. And so I didn't know where to start. And so the first thing I did was look to my parents. And I thought of them just being youth coaches and sports booster organizers and volunteering at church and taking a meal to a family who had lost a loved one. And the more I thought about it, the more lesson number 1 really just became clear to me, which was just to start where you're at. And that community service doesn't necessarily have to be going out and doing grand mission work. It's really just serving the community right where God has you in that moment. So I started with some little and informal things. Volunteering to read to the preschool class, having a mom's night to make freezer meals, getting friends together to adopt a family through the Salvation Army. And then as my kids' situation changed and they moved on to the elementary school, we moved into another season of life and some new opportunities. And there I was blessed to be a volunteer with the Tiger Pack program and serve the PTO, spearheading their playground project and overseeing multiple committees, and then later serving as president. And then as my kids' interest evolved, I was offered some opportunities to help out with the swim team, and I've been happy to lend my time there, overseeing some initiatives to grow the team and support every swimmer and family from beginners all the way up to the Olympic trials. I started there as a general volunteer and then became the event coordinator, and then now I serve as president, and I found that is the thing with volunteer work. If you just keep showing up, you get hired, you get promoted. It's a great line of work. But there I became aware of lesson number 2, which is that you can't wait until you're ready. There's never a good time. You're never going to have a whole bunch of free time and really feel ready, but you just need to jump in, and that's how things get done. So even during my busiest seasons of life, it's possible, as Becky said, to do small things with great love. And every one of those acts really does contribute to making our community here in Blair County such a wonderful place to live. In each of the organizations with which I've been involved, the mission is big and the to-do list feels long. So lesson number 3, I learned out of necessity, and that is that asking for help and recognizing gifts in others and empowering them is often the greatest thing that I can do. By doing less, I really do so much more. We get more done, our outcomes are better when everyone amplifies their unique gifts. And this has never been more clear to me than over the past 10 weeks, as I had the honor of a lifetime to be part of a committee of women who joined forces to raise money and awareness for the American Heart Association's Women of Impact. This charity is of special importance to me. Sorry. As my family has a history of cardiomyopathy, in fact, tonight is the 16th anniversary of my dad's heart transplant. He's here with us tonight. So my why is very big for this one. But this committee joined together for a truly historic effort by pulling on the various strengths of its members: business, marketing, social media, law, community engagement. And where I was weak, they were all so strong. And in leveraging these strengths, I'm proud to share that we ended up as the #1 team in Pennsylvania and placed 11th in the nation. And we were really the only team from a small market, which was super cool. Makes me really proud of where we live. I'm truly humbled to stand before you tonight as part of this amazing group of women with pride for all that the Wise Women are doing to celebrate the contributions of women to the fabric of our society and the strength of this Blair County community. I'm proud to live and serve here, and I'm grateful for those with whom I've served in both great and small acts who've helped me learn the lessons along the way. Thank you.
Terrific, and congratulations on all your success that you had with the Heart Association fundraising. Our next category is education, and our honoree is Lori Crownover. Our sponsor for the education category is McQuaid Blasco Incorporated Attorneys at Law. And to do the introduction is one of those attorneys, Jessica Fisher, Esquire. Jessica?
Thank you, Donna. Good evening. On behalf of McQuaid Blasco, I'm excited to introduce this year's honoree in the education category. This year's honoree has dedicated both her professional life and her personal life to serving her community through education. Professionally, she had years of service as an elementary teacher at Bellwood Antis, and in her current role at Penn State Altoona, she supervises future educators through their student teaching programs. Beyond her professional career, she saw a need to help our growing local international community learn English and brought English as a second language classes to Altoona. She is currently a certified ESL instructor and the head of the Altoona English Culture Club, and has worked with hundreds of internationals to help them learn the English language so that they can earn their citizenship, get a job, and become better integrated into the Blair County community. In addition, she is a leader in her church and community and is often the first person to volunteer to extend a helping hand and unconditional support and mentorship to women in need. This dedicated educator has spent a lifetime living out her calling, and she truly embodies one of her favorite Bible verses, Micah 6:8. The Lord has told you what is good, and this is what he requires of you, to do what is right, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Please join me in honoring this year's award recipient in the education category, my friend, Lori Crownover.
All right, somebody left their glasses up here, so I'm going to use them. Are they readers? Okay, thanks, Donna. She left her readers for me. Thank you so much to the Wise Women Board for the honor to stand here and represent the Altoona English and Culture Club Adult ESL program. It was beautiful to see all the women that have been awarded over the years on the screen, and I just want to congratulate the ladies that I sat with tonight. I said they sat us all together so that we could all be nervous together, which we were. So it was really cool to see my mom up there from 1994. So that was very exciting for me. This all-volunteer organization was formed because we believe that God cares for the foreigners, and he asks his followers to do the same. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, God loves the foreigner residing among you, and you are to love those who are foreigners. I'm going to, I love this work, and we love our international friends. I'm going to try not to get emotional. One of our women from Egypt, after we worked with her for probably half the year to get her ready to take her citizenship, and she passed it. And she said, I have no family here, but I tell my family in Egypt, you are all my family. One of our older women from Sudan, after a year with us, came in very upset and crying. And during the break, she told everyone to be quiet, and she had placed on her phone a thank you to all of us with a translation, and was upset because she had to move back to New Jersey and didn't want to go because here she had found friendship even among the Americans. Recently, we've come to know a Vietnamese couple who has been here in the U.S. for over 5 years. They're highly educated, most of them are. Their struggle is the English language. And they come from their home country, and they want to move to the United States so that their children have a better future. In our citizenship class, he felt a true friendship with our volunteer and invited him to his house. And he said, "I have no friends here. You are my only friend." They were so excited to invite an American to their home. We've celebrated 6 years of Thanksgiving meals with our internationals, with each meal with over about 100 students. This year, we celebrated several moms becoming new American citizens, and we've celebrated at least 20 in the past 7 years. We celebrate new moms with baby showers and provide the basics for them. And one of the greatest things is that we have a student who is a mom of 7 children and never learned to read and write in the Arabic language, in her own language. And she has just started to read in English. And she's just working to get her driver's license. I want to celebrate our volunteers tonight, and they're in these 2 tables right here. They've come from about 15 different churches. They go to work, and then they come on Monday nights, and they've come every night during the school year for the past 7 years to teach English to the international community in Blair County, and they show true friendship and love to them. And I'd love it if you would just stand up for a second so we can applaud you. Would you do that? I know they don't want to, but I'm asking them to. Okay. They have taken the time during the day to also work with students, but they've done more than teach English. They've taught art classes, they've taught computer classes, they have visited their students' homes, they've invited them to their homes to visit. It's really a beautiful and at the same time heartbreaking thing to hear their stories of war in their countries and just wanting to have a better life or be safe. Our volunteers have helped them with getting jobs, taught them how to drive. That's kind of a scary thing. Provided for financial and household needs, helped them to get their U.S. citizenship, helped their children apply for the FAFSA for college, have done really everything that a true friend does. I want to say thank you to all our teachers who come each week, and they even text when they're in the ER to say what lesson they're on. And I'm like, okay, Ken, we're okay. But thank you. It just shows that much love for them. I want to say thank you to all those who provide the homemade goods and bread so that we can serve sometimes 60 to 70 people a night, because hospitality is incredibly important to them in their culture. If you go to their home, they're going to lay out a huge spread for you. And it's going to be very, very, you're going to come back very, very full. I want to say thanks to our pastor who prays over this work faithfully, and he does everything he can to help. And thanks to those who check students in and know every one of their names, and those who stand security at our doors every week. I especially wanted to thank our child care volunteers who've taken care of anywhere from 3 to 24 children a night so that our young moms can attend classes. They would not be able to do that without that. I want to say thank you to the churches who have supported us financially so that we can buy the curriculum and have a website and the other things that we need. And I need to say thank you to my husband, who's my right-hand man and can literally do everything, every job. He just knows what to do. And I wanted to say thank you to my God, my kind God, who I know as a deeply personal, perfect, and loving good Father who calls us to do his work on earth and then provides everything we need to do it. He is the one that I pray to every week when my phone blows up and people say, "I'm sorry, I can't come. My child is sick," or "I'm sick." And I need childcare helpers. And I pray and I say, "God, I need help. I don't have childcare tonight, or I need someone to teach this class, or I need money to buy these kinds of things." And every time I've done that for 7 straight years, he has never once not answered my prayer when I've told him what we need. We have never been without childcare help, food, teachers help, or the funds that we need. It has been a privilege to work alongside God and these workers to do what we feel is his work. It says in the Bible, he has created us so that we can do the good things he planned for us long ago. And I look at all these women, these beautiful women here tonight that are doing these beautiful things, and I know God created you and he planned ahead of time for you to do those things so that you could have that beautiful impact on your family and your community. I'm grateful to be able to fill the purpose that God has for my life. Thank you for the blessing of being able to share this work with you through this honor. And I really want to thank Donna Gordy for talking me into it. She called me from England. She's like, "Lori, I'm calling you from England." But thank you, Donna, for at least giving me the opportunity to share about this work. God bless you. And thank you for your glasses.
Thank you very much, Gloria. Very, very nice. Our next category is nonprofit government, and our honoree is Amy Martin Shanafelt. This is a category, as I mentioned, near and dear to my heart, and Amy is a very special person that I've gotten to know over the past many years as we've worked together at the organization of which she is now the head. To introduce Amy is Dana Pio. Our sponsor is First National Bank, and Dana is the head branch manager at the Hollidaysburg branch. So, Dana?
Edward Everett Hale once said, "I am only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And I will not let what I cannot do interfere with what I can do." His words remind me of Amy Martin Shanafelt, the woman we're here to honor and celebrate this evening as the Wise Women of Blair County's 2025 Nonprofit and Government Category honoree. Amy is someone who exudes deep love and heartfelt compassion for others. She has invested decades of her life in caring for people. Through her leadership and advocacy efforts, she has mobilized resources and coordinated community efforts that have been crucial in meeting various health and housing needs of people here in Blair County. Amy is married to Dan and has 3 children. She is the executive director of Blair Health Choices. She is also the co-director of the Northern Blair Backpack Program, which she started in 2014 with the Tyrone Area School District and the Bellwood Annis School District, providing essentials, food items to children in need when they are not in school. She has played a pivotal role with many causes and organizations in Blair County, including Hope for the Homeless Committee, the System of Care Grant, and the Warming Center. When asked what motivates her, Amy said she believes there is always room for improvement in ourselves and in our work and in our community. Anything we hope to accomplish is done in partnership with others. Everyone is blessed with strengths and gifts, and recognizing and empowering others helps us all achieve goals beyond our own dreams. It is my great honor now to introduce you all to Amy Martin Shanafelt.
You'll have to give me a second here. Good evening, everyone. I'm truly appreciative and very humbled by this recognition. Humbled because I know that I would not be receiving this without all of the support that I receive every day from my family, my coworkers, and so many in this community. This list is very long, and I think about how we are all so interconnected and how God brings people into our lives to support us, challenge us, and collaborate with us to do good things. For example, when I was trying to create a backpack program for Bellwood and Tyrone, God put Jendi Maines there for me to help make it a reality and just really complete the circle. And I could never do it without her and all our wonderful selfless volunteers. Thank you, Jendi. I'm so grateful for all the wonderful people I work with, both at Blair Health Choices and many other nonprofit organizations in Blair County who share the same passion and energy to help improve the lives of others in our community who struggle with to find their own voice, who are struggling with their mental health, with substance use issues, and homelessness, who are often mistreated, ostracized, and exposed inaccurately via social media by those that truly don't understand their struggles. This network of support cannot be developed and sustained by one person alone. And this was truly evident in the partnership and collaborative work that occurred in the last 2 years to create a warming center for people experiencing homelessness to have a warm place to sleep at night during the coldest months of the year. While achieving this goal, we were also able to expand our network of caring and support to include city government, churches, and behavioral health providers, and better leverage our community resources. It was truly amazing. Again, I could go through an endless list of thank yous, but I do want to specifically thank 2 amazing women in my life. My mom and dad, but not a woman, for providing the moral and spiritual foundation for me growing up and to this day. I know I tested its strength countless times growing up, and it passed the test. And my daughter, my firstborn, because from the moment she was born, my life changed. I now became a mother. And my life goal is now to ensure that the world she grew up in was the best place it could be, that her future would be full of opportunities, and that she would always know that no matter what, she could accomplish whatever she put her mind to. I want this for every little girl, and I want this for all my children, and now for the young lady in front of me who's not so little anymore. And of course, thank you to my husband and my sons who support and empower our female spirit. I never thought that God's plan for me was to come to Blair County, meet my husband, and raise my children, but it is an amazing place full of amazing people. And now more than ever is the time to open our ears and listen to each other's stories and respect each other's opinions to find that common ground. We must work towards building a better community for our children and for all children. So I'm not very good at memorizing Bible verses, so God bless you, Lori, for doing all of that. And I'm horrible at telling jokes. Like, there's a duck and a chicken, or it was a chicken and a frog, or I can't even remember, but I laugh, and then they're just gone. So, and the people that can recite movie verses like that, like lines from movies, that just blows my mind too. So definitely none of my talents. So when I was asked to complete a bibliography form before this event, they asked something like, "What words do you live by?" And I thought, well, they're such simple words. And I can't remember when it became part of my vernacular, but it's a phrase, live and let live. I likely picked it up with the women at the halfway house during 12-step meetings they attended. One of the 12-step slogans to mean focus on yourself. So I then decided to go back and find its true origin. It is actually a Dutch proverb from centuries ago, but became more commonly used during the First World War as an expression of nonviolent cooperative behavior, or calling a truce. Which is really funny because my daughter reminded me that I tell them that all the time when they're fighting. But live and let live, words I use every day to help me take pause and to try not to pass judgment, to listen to someone's story and try to put myself in their shoes, understand where they're coming from, and to find a way to work together. Because in our current state of the world, where the apps on our phones actually create algorithms to divert our thinking, creating canyons of divergence between each other's worldviews. More important now than ever, we need to find the common ground between each other to plant the seeds of hope. So, I thought wise meant with irritating silver enhancements, with maybe a little sprinkle of sarcasm, because I definitely have a lot of both of those. But the meaning and the mission of Wise Women, dedicated to empowering women and encouraging acceptance and inclusion of all through collaboration, service, and education, this truly serves as the bridge to meet in the middle. And I thank all of you that are part of Wise Women for being a beacon of hope for women in our community. Thank you. Thank you, Amy. And thank you, Dana, for that introduction that included the verse that's in my ad in the program. So that's a verse that I use all the time. Each of us can do something to make our community better. And thank you all for all that you do to make our community better. Our final recognition of the evening is for our Lifetime Achievement honoree, and that's Ann Benzel. And to introduce Ann to you this evening is our sponsor, UPMC Altoona, and the president, Mike Corso. Mike.
Thank you, Donna. Good evening. My name is Mike Corso, and I am the president of UPMC Altoona and UPMC Bedford. And I would truly like to thank the wise women of Blair County for an opportunity to share my voice or add my voice and share a few words of praise for Ann Benzel, this year's Lifetime Achievement Award winner. I am certain that I could stand here for at least 45 minutes and talk about everything Ann has accomplished throughout her life. But Bill told me bedtime is 9:30. So it's truly important that we keep things moving from that standpoint. So Ann is a rare gem embodying an unwavering dedication to her family and work, profound compassion for others, and a true selflessness in everything she does. Ann has been instrumental in the growth and development of the UPMC Altoona Foundation, having served as the chairperson. And through their kindness, Ann and her husband, Bill, have established the William P. Benzel Family Cancer Fund at the UPMC Altoona Foundation, which provides annual generous donations and grants, bringing hope and relief to hundreds of cancer patients each year, making a profound difference in the lives of so many. On the hospital board of directors, of which I can't remember a time when Ann wasn't on the board, and I've worked at our local hospitals for the last 30 years, so I'm pretty sure you've been part of that ever since I've been there, but we're certainly grateful for that. Your service continues to be fundamental in UPMC Altoona's growth and development as a tertiary care center for our region. During Ann's tenure on the board, the hospital has added a score of new medical services for our patients and our community members, such as a state-of-the-art stroke center and our comprehensive cardiovascular care, just to name a few. Certainly no tribute to Ann would be complete without highlighting her remarkable drive as a businesswoman. As president of Benzel's Pretzel Bakery, she has led its growth through a strong partnership with her husband, Bill, and now grandson, Max, as he joins the family business. Ann brings compassion, wise judgment, and boundless generosity to every organization she touches. As I've said before, she's a rare gem and certainly a pillar of our community. In closing, I want to honor Ann's most treasured roles as a loving wife and partner to Bill, a devoted mother and grandmother to her grandchildren, Lily and Max, along with Max's wife, Mary Ann. On behalf of everyone at UPMC Altoona, our board, our medical staff, and all of our employees, the foundation, we want to say thank you again for everything you do for our community. So congratulations, Ann. It is truly my honor to give you this richly deserved Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Walking up here, I just realized this is probably only the second or third time I've been at a podium with a microphone and a captive audience where I haven't been asking for money for the Mishler, Mount Aloysius, or the Southern Alleghenies Museum of Art. So bear with me. When told we were expected to speak this evening, I did have some concerns about it. Knowing that you're the last one up here, so many wonderful things have been said. I didn't want to repeat anything. I also know that my husband would be in my direct line of sight, and in all probability, as Mike indicated, he would be tapping his fictitious watch, saying, "Keep it brief. It really is his bedtime." So I reached out to Wise Women and asked them if there was a point they wanted me to drive home, a message, so to speak, what it's all about. And I was quite happy when I got the return message that you can say or do anything you would like as long as you do it under 7 minutes. So my plan was to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and good night. However, I realized, or I thought she would be standing at the bottom of the stairs with her arms crossed if I did that, but she's right behind me. And so it wasn't common sense, it was fear, and I'm going to start all over again. It truly is an honor to be here in this capacity. Wise Women is a remarkable organization and such an asset to this community. Its culture sends a strong message to everyone in this community. Tribute is such an amazing event, and I think all of you here tonight recognize that, and it's astonishing the talent that we have and the generosity that we have in this community. I congratulate all of the present and past honorees this evening, and I congratulate and thank every woman in this room for all that you do. And to the men here tonight, nah, it's not your night. These are challenging times as we try to reconnect to traditional values. I feel so lucky to have had these opportunities. I have accumulated so many riches in the form of treasured friends, favorite belongings, memorable experiences, and certainly further insight along this long and winding road. But I know for a fact that I stand here this evening in part because of many of the people sitting in this room tonight. We've worked together for many, many years on so many projects, and I share this award with them. I would not be here without you. I would be remiss if I did not also mention the dedicated employees at Benzel's, whose talent allows me the freedom and the flexibility to do all of the things that I do. People who make a difference are often not the ones with the credentials, but the ones with concern. Each of us can look to someone who's made a difference in their lives, a relative, a teacher, a friend, even a stranger. I encourage each and every one of you to leave here tonight with one thing in mind: make a difference. Make a difference in your life, make a difference in someone else's life. Next year, you could be standing up here struggling to show your appreciation and making a speech. I'm frequently asked, at your age, why are you still working? The answer is very simple: because I love it. This would probably come as a shock to many people out there today, someone saying they love work. But it's okay to love work. I find I've cut off all the escape routes because I have a never-ending list of things that remain to be done. That said, I know how important it is to permit younger voices to be heard and greater visions to be perceived. I'm thrilled today to be hearing any number of strong young voices out there doing great things, and they'll be doing even greater things that I could never have imagined achieving. I want them to know what a pleasure it is to work with them and to learn from them. One of my favorite quotes is from a gentleman named Richard Bach. He speaks to the test to find whether or not your mission on earth is finished. The answer is very simple. If you're alive, it isn't. In receiving this recognition, I am more alive and motivated than ever. I feel so lucky to be part of your world tonight and to have you part of mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to our wonderful honorees, to our sponsors, to the sponsors representatives who did such lovely introductions. Thank you to the casino for the beautiful setting and for a wonderful meal. Thank you for Chronix for donating these gorgeous vases to the award man for engraving them, to Gazette Printers for printing the lovely programs that you all have with the bios, the program, the ads. Thank you to the people who bought the ads. Thank you to the Altoona Mirror for taking the photos that you have of all of our honorees, for the beautiful article that Pat Keith did and published for us. Thank you to the legislators for the citations and certificates that we have up here to give the honorees. Thank you to Pressbox for printing for us earlier in the year, and to Scott Stover, who has been our official photographer this evening, and to the public access channel as well, and all of you who bought ads. Thank you to our members for being members. Thank you to our prospective members for joining at some point in the future. And thank you to the nominators who nominated these wonderful women. And I hope that many of you will be nominators next year. And I'm pretty certain probably one or more of you will be honorees next year. So thank you all very much for being here, for supporting your loved ones, for supporting Wise Women. We very much appreciate it. And we continue to do our work through the year because of the support that we receive here this evening. So thank you very much. And Bill will get you home by bedtime and the rest of us as well. So thank you very much.